The JP poll is here. Not a ranking, of course, just a power rating. I would like to position these teams in the order that the model would predict them to be favored on a neutral field. Nothing more, nothing less. If you don't get it at this point, it's not worth explaining. Let's start at number 25 through 21. Florida's still where they were last week. Arizona, it's a streak now. Jed Fish and Company, they are rated number 24. But you know what I'm happy about? I almost want to golf clap it a little bit. The model was very slow to come around on Missouri. But finally, Missouri is power rated. Number 23, no less. Whomst amongst us would have thought this late in the year, Missouri and USC would be right next to each other, and both of them would be behind Miami. I don't know. So that's where we are, 23 through 21. Now, I have some explaining to do, but first, you notice conspicuous in their absence there, no TCU. No TCU. Yes, the number 23 team in the country last week got predictably boat raced by Kansas State. So TCU was the wart. It was the fly in the model's ointment this year. TCU's gone. We'll see you all in 2024. Let's keep it moving. North Carolina dropped to 20. Candidly, now, I don't like to air the dirty laundry out here between me and the model. I think North Carolina dropped too far. North Carolina dropped 3.75 raw points, and that was good to drop them from 11 to 20. I think it's a little harsh, so I would have North Carolina up there around 14 or 15. That's just me personally. I'm not a computer. Kansas State continues to surge. Kansas State has added 6 points of value on their power rating over the last 2 weeks. They were not rated last week, which they should have been. The whole TCU-Kansas State conundrum was well chronicled on this show. And Kansas State is number 17 now. UCLA is 16. I guess I should have read these. So 20 to 16. North Carolina, Utah, Ole Miss, Kansas State, UCLA. I got a quick note from the model. It would favor UCLA by 2.1 points on a neutral field against USC right now. There are 5.85 points that separate number 10 to number 21. So before you talk about how wide the gap is, number 11 should be number 14, number 16 should be 12. It's a minuscule difference. Let's keep it rolling, Colin. 15 to 11, A&M, Oregon State, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Penn State. Didn't think Penn State would drop much. They didn't. In fact, I think they remained unchanged. I think there was some movement up ahead of them. The model's still really high. Well, the model is higher on A&M and Tennessee, for that matter, than maybe the AP is. I don't know. I haven't looked at the AP all week. Like I swear to you, I have not seen it once. I would imagine A&M's not ranked, but could be wrong. You will see. Go look at Bill Connolly's numbers. I haven't seen those today. I guarantee he's got A&M a lot higher. It's just the way that neutral field favorability would work. It's not a ranking. I wouldn't have A&M ranked 15. They don't deserve to be ranked 15. Move it right along. We've got some serious movement here. Serious movement. So let me read 10 to 6. Oklahoma didn't move a whole lot. We didn't need to move them because we didn't have them as high as everyone else did to begin with. Washington, number 9, didn't move them hardly at all. We didn't need to. We already had them a little bit lower than folks did to begin with. LSU has surged. I'll get back to them in a second. They're at 8. Texas is at 7. That is with Quinn Ewers. We have not removed Ewers because it's not a season-ending injury. So it's a case-by-case, week-by-week thing with how we will grade a game. But we still got Texas at 7. But how about Florida State? You guys said the model was a little bit off on Florida State. The model listened, and it heard you. It said, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong. That's what it said. It's got Florida State 6 now. Back to LSU at number 8 for a second. I don't know what to say. It's been higher on LSU for a while than the AP has, but LSU at 8 right now. Now, to be very, very clear, what the model is telling you is it would favor LSU on a neutral field against Oklahoma tomorrow, which doesn't compute. One of them's got 2 losses. One of them's undefeated. I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. But I also think it's on to something there. Now, rankings-wise, LSU should never be ahead of Oklahoma right now. But power rating-wise, that's interesting. LSU, Defensively, they are what they are, but offensively, they also are what they are. All right, let's move it on. I'm very interested to see, because LSU's playing Bama in 2 weeks. And sneaking suspicion we'll have a good vantage point for that game. Number 5 through number 1 is Bama 5, Oregon 4, Georgia 3, Ohio State 2, Michigan 1. So we've got Michigan, Ohio State 1-2. We have got Bama number 5. I ran the numbers. We would favor Michigan by 5 against Alabama on a neutral field right now. That's the gap between 1 and 5. I think we'd take a fair amount of Bama action on that if we put that point spread out. That's my inclination. And so, what are our thoughts here? My thoughts are, I think North Carolina's too low. I'm fascinated by LSU, because here's what could happen. What could happen is LSU goes to Bama. Let me explain power rating world to you, okay? Let's just say this is right. For the sake of argument, let's say universal truth is known and this is right. LSU at 8, Bama 5. Okay, let's say LSU goes to Bama and they lose 27-24. They could end up climbing 1 or 2 spots more, being a 3-loss team. Because the implication there, according to these numbers, is they should lose to Alabama. You don't punish teams when they do what the model says they should do. The model won't, at least. And that'll really throw folks for a loop. Like if we had 3-loss LSU above undefeated Oklahoma, that would throw people for a loop. But I think also, if you were to get odds makers on the record right now, and they gave you all kinds of hypothetical lines, I think some of those would throw you for a loop. You know, you would think to yourself, there's no way. And then Vegas is like, no, this is what this line would be actually if we put it out right now. It would shock people. I don't know why, but it would shock people. So there you go. Michigan number 1 still in the JP poll. FSU, big climber, up to number 6. And Washington and Oklahoma there at 9 and 10.